Picture the island of Hormuz, a beautiful pearl shining in the blue waters of the Persian Gulf. For hundreds of years, it was a powerful symbol of Persia, a really important center for trade that helped their huge empire thrive. Caravans packed with silks, spices, and treasures from the east all met at this special island. All those riches then traveled out to the rest of the world, making Persia richer and its culture even more amazing. Hormuz was more than just an island. It showed everyone how powerful Persia was in that part of the world. Its busy markets were filled with the beautiful sounds of Farsi, the language of poets and kings. The whole island buzzed with the energy of Persian traders making deals, following ancient traditions. If you controlled Hormuz, you controlled all the trade in the Persian Gulf. Other powerful empires around the world knew this, but then, a dangerous threat came from across the ocean, a group that dared to challenge Persia's control over its own waters. The Portuguese didn't just occupy Hormuz, they insulted it. Their harsh rule stopped the island's once thriving trade, sending all the riches to Lisbon instead of back to Isfahan. The Portuguese, acting all high and mighty and ignoring Persian customs, treated the island and its people like a money-making machine. This made everyone in Persia even angrier. Inside their big, strong fortress, the Portuguese lived like kings, feasting on stolen goods and drinking lots of wine. They seemed impossible to defeat, protected by their cannons and their reputation for being ruthless in battle. Stories of their cruelty and greed spread all over Persia, making the people even more determined to see the Portuguese flag taken down and the Persian flag raised again. Hormuz being taken over was a painful wound for Persia, a constant reminder of their lost power. It was a slap in the face to their history, their culture, everything about them. It was their land, their sea, their home, but they couldn't do anything about it. At least that's what it seemed like. Back in Persia, a new Shah, or king, took the throne. His name was Shah Abbas the Great, and he was a different kind of ruler. He was smart, ambitious, and incredibly strong-willed. He represented the hopes and dreams of his people. He promised to make Persia powerful again, and a big part of that was getting Hormuz back. Shah Abbas knew that beating the Portuguese would take more than just a strong army. He needed a clever plan, someone who could outsmart the enemy. He found that person in Imam Quli Khan, a brilliant military leader who was totally loyal to the Shah. Imam Quli Khan was incredibly brave and a genius at planning battles. Imam Quli Khan was a warrior through and through. He knew how important Hormuz was. Getting it back wouldn't just be a military win, it would be a huge symbolic victory for all of Persia. It would inspire everyone and start a new era of Persian power. The Lion of Persia, as he was called, carefully planned his attack, studying maps, getting information, and gathering his troops. He knew this wouldn't be a normal battle. It would be a fight between different worlds, a fight for the very soul of Persia. To defeat the Portuguese, Imam Quli Khan knew he needed an edge, something to help Persia win. He found it in a surprising team-up with the English East India Company. The English also wanted more power in the area, and they saw the Portuguese as rivals who were getting in their way. It wasn't a real friendship, just something that made sense because they had a common enemy. The English had a powerful weapon that the Persians didn't, a modern navy with big, strong cannons. This alliance, though strange, showed how smart Imam Quli Khan was. He knew that to win, he had to think outside the box and use any advantage he could, even if it was unusual. News of this alliance surprised everyone. It seemed like the Persian lion was taking a big risk, working with a foreign power to take back what was his. But Imam Quli Khan didn't care. He knew that what was at stake was too important, the shame of losing Hormuz too great, to let pride get in the way of victory. Under the hot Persian sun, a massive army gathered near the Strait of Hormuz. The Persian lion, calm and confident, rode among his men, inspiring them and promising a great victory. Everyone was excited as the Persian forces, their flags waving in the desert wind, prepared to take back their stolen jewel. They came from all over Persia, a diverse group united by their shared history and their burning desire to free Hormuz. Experienced soldiers, their faces marked with the scars of battle, stood next to new recruits, their eyes shining with patriotism. The ground shook as the army moved, their war cries echoing across the water. The Portuguese heard this terrifying sound and knew their time was almost up. The siege of Hormuz began. Persian cannons, given to them by their English allies, fired, sending huge blasts of iron towards the Portuguese fortress. Each blast weakened the fortress walls, but more importantly, it shattered the Portuguese belief that they were unbeatable. The Persians were there to stay, as determined as the desert itself.